everybody, and welcome back to Ready Steady Play.
Hiya.
Hi.
It's Mike. I'm joined by
Ollie.
And
Michael.
And as you probably know from the thumbnail and all the information, this is Shadow Tactics. It's a Kickstarter from Antler Games. We've played their games before on the channel. We played Saltlands and we played Critters Below. Mm-hmm. You and I did. We played Saltlands with Matthew and we played Critters Below on our own.
Yes, that's right.
Basically, they've been excluding me from all of them, but now they just can't.
You can have them all, Ollie. You can have them all.
Oh, that's encouraging.
So Antler Games is a company that sort of does a bit of semi-co-op, and actually...
Which I like.
You like the co-op part.
But yeah.
You like half of that.
Yeah.
He likes the second half of that part.
Michael likes the second half of that, exactly. So we did discuss the semi-co-op of Saltlands and what we thought about that. It's a difficult genre, I think, to sort of negotiate because but it's also a genre that's very telling of your kind of gamer group. And with Nemesis, we talked about how the semi-co-op really is up to the players to decide how cooperative they want it to be, and it can become full co-op.
Yeah, very easily.
Very easily. But if you're in a group with, Steve, and Steve wants to murder everybody, then Steve will decide to murder everybody. Antler Games doesn't really take that approach. They're like, you cannot fully cooperate, deal with it.
Yeah.
Although in Saltlands, I don't think it really manifested as well as they would have liked. This is very different. In Shadow Tactics, this is a one versus many. So straight away, there's an adversary. And that's going to be me. I am the Daimyo, and this is my fort.
Trust.
Possibly. Actually, I think the fortress is here. This is Osaka Castle, the first mission that we're going to play. Although Shadow Tactics is a campaign game with a story, and there's all these stories of set in feudal Japan about how the villains are trying to break up the provinces and create wars, and the good guys, which are the ninjas for some reason, are trying to
Agents of the Emperor, dude. That's always been the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, samurai always worked for a local warlord. And
it's like Japan's version of Robin Hood.
Well, government sanctioned. Ninjas were always used by the Emperor. They were the Emperor's dark hand.
Oh. I was going to say, are they the Knights Templar version of the Knights Templar, but no, maybe not.
Imagine them more as like a modern spy agency that also had basically the CIA in every movie.
There you go. Some history for you. Don't say we never gave you anything.
Learn.
No.
Hey, it was one of the only professions that women were allowed to get into that allowed them to kill people. Equality and all that.
Ninjas, it's an equality area, an equality employment area. Fair, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So, in this game, the ninjas, agents of the Emperor, are trying to stop the breaking up of feudal Japan. So, Castle Osaka is here. It's my castle, and these are the grounds outside, and they've got to blow open the door of Castle Osaka by taking the gunpowder, which are these green tokens, and bringing it over here and blowing it up. They're going to be running around these lands while I'm going to patrol guards around trying to stop them. That's the theme of the game. And it's semi-co-op because they are on the same team, but the thing is, because there's guards everywhere and things are preventing them from full effective communication, that's why they're sitting on either side of me. You may have noticed we've not adopted our traditional one versus many seating arrangement, and that's because they're not allowed to share any information with one another that's hidden from me, the Daimyo. If they say anything, they have to tell me what they said. If they show any cards to one another, they have to also show those cards to me. And I have to try and infer from what they're doing what their plans are on the board. Now, whether or not they're telling the truth, they decide to do what they said they would, or it's some kind of clever double bluff, we will not know until they've finished programming their cards on this high-tech programming mat.
Yeah.
And then...
Sustainable programming mat.
Yeah. Eco-friendly programming mat, and then we will reveal the programmed cards, the actions will take place, and if any of you are familiar with programming games a la Robo Rally or something, you will know that this often, the output often differs greatly from the intention.
Basically, watch us try to put something clever in, and then watch Mike try very hard to screw it up.
I will be doing my best to screw it up, but my actions are limited. In that I've only got a few cards, and my spearmen are very lazy. You see, they don't really like to walk very far.
Or pay
attention to very much. If they can get away with not moving, not looking, and just sitting around, they will do it. But I've got some officers who will show up and bark at them and tell them to go around. So I'm going to be positioning all these guardsmen on this board and sort of controlling them and hopefully catching the ninjas in their nefarious daring do. Now, here's the thing. Ninjas are practically invincible. In fact, in this game, they cannot die. But, well, unfortunately, my army of harmless mooks here can only really create flesh wounds. But if I create enough flesh wounds, the ninjas will be slowed down so long that they run out of time. You see, there's a party at the Osaka Castle that they're trying to stop because it's a party against the Emperor. And if they don't get into the castle in 12 turns, then the party's going to go ahead and they will have failed to spoil the party.
Basically, we need to cause an explosion so the fire marshal comes along and shuts down your party.
Yeah. So the police can get in and break it up. And they've got 12 turns to do that. But if I wound them or hurt them or injure them, they will slow down. They'll have to stop and heal themselves, giving up valuable time. And if I actually catch them in the most of compromising positions,
flagrante,
then they will actually just lose turns straight up. So I am trying to kill time, I'm not trying to kill time. I'm either trying to drag it out or kill it altogether.
Yeah, you're trying to reduce it.
Yeah, and
he can't kill us, so he's trying to assassinate the day.
As is your normal position in the games that we play, you're trying to end the game as fast as possible.
That does not include losing. I want to make that clear.
I don't mind if you lose. I'm quite flexible about this.
Stop listening to the serpent on your left. Listen to the other serpent on your further left.
His charms are immune. I am immune, sorry. His charms are not working. I won't let them work. Have you
already started, or is this what I've got to work with today?
This is our land, and it's divided into 3 different kinds of hexes. I have done a rules and setup video. It's sort of a primer because, this is pre-Kickstarter. So it's coming to Kickstarter, or more than likely you found this video as a result of the Kickstarter campaign. Although if you're a regular subscriber, hello, thank you. Hi. Lovely subscribers. Thank you for coming on another adventure with us.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to make some sort of witty comment then. I was like, oh, don't let me down, brain. Failed.
Oh, dear God, why am I on his side?
I was going to say something witty and thanking them. And,
Well, do you know what I really like about this game in the amount that we've played so far is that it's really funny because when it works in the favor of the ninjas, it's kind of like derpy guards, if you're familiar with Metal Gear Solid at all. It's sort of like, whose footprints are these? Where did that go? What was that noise? Oh, it's probably the wind, Or
what's this box doing here?
Yeah, what's this box doing? Where did this come from? Oh, look, some alcohol. I'll just drink it. They're like,
doesn't do that.
It's like, it's the dumbest, you can't really, the game is very thematic and you can't really picture it without picturing these morons doing all this stupid shit. But what is even better is when the ninja's programming fucks up and you're just trying to picture this derpy ass ninja doing the dumbest shit.
Sneaky,
so it's
sneaky,
so
sneaky
funny.
crap.
It's basically like if you could sort of really pull it off, it would look so slick and cool, but the entire game is set up to make that as difficult for you as possible.
Yeah.
And so if you are familiar with these kinds of games where you're sort of trying to have a conversation, keep it secret, trying to, a good example would be Rising Sun, or another good example would be Fury of Dracula, a sort of a one versus many game where there's hidden information that you're trying to keep secret. If you're familiar with that tension as well, then this game is full of it. And if you
Be careful how
like
you edit
that...
Huh? Be careful how you edit that sentence.
This game is full of it. Don't take that. There's a quote for the box.
Yeah, this game is full of it. RSP.
It's a very sort of a tense game where you're waiting to see if things have played out and how things are going to turn out. And, as the Daimyo, you're sort of just hoping that you can catch the ninjas in these acts as they slide around you and just, pull off these cool maneuvers. And they've got these cool action cards that do all this crazy stuff. And I've got these action cards that are like, turn around and look the other way. But then again, that could severely scupper plans. So it's this very interesting dynamic. But if you are the kind of person who really suffers from that kind of sort of tension and stress, we're not naming names here or pointing fingers, but if you're that kind of person, then you'll probably get a great sense of Schadenfreude watching this playthrough. And this may not be a game for you, but if you are the kind of person that revels in that, I can reassure you that this game has got a lot of it. It offers it in spades. So, without further ado, are we picking quests first?
Yeah, we've got to pick quests.
All right.
So we each control 2 ninjas because we wanted to.
Yeah.
We have...
In the 3-player game, it's 2 ninjas.
In the 3-player game.
So there are 3 objectives that every ninja has. They have different levels of difficulty and repeatability. So, for example, Mugen, my orange guy, has kill a spearman, which to accomplish this mission he has to do 4 times.
Yeah, he has to kill 4 spearmen. And what's interesting about Mugen is he's basically just like a sword murder tank.
I love the fact he's got a stealth kill that makes noise. That's the opposite of what stealthy is.
Yeah, he doesn't have a stealth. He's got a noisy murder. Murder.
So I've got also kill samurai and kill officers. Do you have any samurai?
All of his upgrades are just murder people. I have no samurais in this mission.
Do you have any officers?
I do.
The officers are
gonna
the
go
ones with
the flag
the
unit.
flags.
Yeah.
So this is a bog standard Mook spearman. And here we have Officer Man here.
So can you guess? Killing samurai is probably not going to be my mission.
Now, I should probably say, actually, well, let's get through the missions and then I'll give you guys a quick rundown on this Kickstarter.
Cool.
We've all got... Well, why don't we all pick a mission now? Because that's sort of giving you an idea. Mugen levels up by killing people. But here's the thing. We won't actually get any of these items because I have missions too. And I can level up too as the Daimyo. But we won't actually get any of these prizes in this game. But if we're playing a full campaign, it would allow us to level up for the next mission. And everybody can level up and get more stuff. And you can also accrue wealth by controlling different parts of Japan that allow you to purchase cards. There is actually a really big dynamic campaign background for this game that involves controlling locations and income and purchasing upgrades and one-off things that you can use. We're not doing any of that because, we've got limited time here and also the game is not complete. But I just want you to know that it exists and that it is it's pretty cool the way it works.
Makes it massive.
There is, in fact, just in this version we've received for the channel, 1 chapter of 3 planned, depending on the success of the campaign.
I like the idea that if you play together, eventually you'll get to know the other person quite well, so you'll stop having the Laurel and Hardy effect.
You'll start second, triple, double. I can imagine if you were very good at this, there'd be a lot of sort of like this really sort of like back and forth cunning play.
Yeah. Just for people at home, these 3 here that I've got
For Aiko?
for Aiko, does this mean that she has no health at the end of the game, or she can't lose any health throughout the entire
I would
playthrough?
say the entire playthrough.
I'd say don't take any damage for the whole playthrough.
Right.
Yeah.
She's the stealth spurt.
Stealth.
I would point out I've got some missions.
And what does
for both.
frontal kill mean?
That means kill someone who's facing you.
So, because her special kill...
Because it's stealthy,
is
yeah.
You pick your target and you can just walk straight up to them and stab them in the eye.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I'm dealing with it. She kills them with a hairpin and she charms them as she goes towards them.
There is... So you will notice, actually, if you look at some of my cards here, pictures of models. Here are the models for the Spearmen. And there is a really nice production planned for this game, which is a lot higher quality than what you see here. I know that they've got these guys here, and there's an alert status, which you'll discover when my guards are alerted later. But these bases clip into extra material so that the alerted guards will have sort of bigger bases here, which are indicating they're facing. So everything is, going to be much higher production if the Kickstarter is successful and the game funds. And obviously the quality, the production value will be in proportion to the success of the campaign. I know that some people have had a hard time making out the different spaces on this board. There is an intention to revise the board and some of the cards. A lot of the art will stay the same, I think, but there are some iconographies and things that are also going to be revised and changed as well. So they have this is going to be kept exactly the same because it's perfect, but every one of them hand painted. But they've said that there will be a nice new production of this as well. So everything is going to be revised as well if the campaign's successful.
In the meantime, in true... I just keep going back to Metal Gear Solid because every time I see one of these, I just get the sound effect. When they're startled...
When they're alerted, yeah, it's like...
Dun!
Yeah, what's the sound? I wish we had a soundboard. I might even find the sound effects online. It's like... Burp!
Yeah.
Ba-dink.
Just imagine a timer
No, it's not
turns
even
up.
like that. It's like... everyone's watching me try to do the Metal Gear Solid sound effect.
Yeah,
now.
you're not going to do it. It's a noise... Okay, you shouldn't do it. Please stop. But every time that goes down, that's the sound I will be hearing. Not that. You know the one I mean.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit my effects out and just put the actual sound in.
Good.
See, I told you I could do it.
Told you I could do it. Flawless.
Yeah. Synthetic.
Right. Has everyone picked a mission?
I picked a mission for each of mine.
Right.
So I had, because the missions are about the campaign, some of them I physically couldn't do in this mission. So that does restrict a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if you're playing those missions normally, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, so our sub-missions here that we're picking now, totally unimportant to this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, completely
Bragging rights
superfluous
only.
unless we decide to play a campaign with this later. But the point is that for the purposes of this video series we're making for you, it's just
We
a
have
sort of
picked to
an
see.
extra goal
Yeah.
to see if we can win harder. Right.
Or at all.
More pressure.
Sorry, you're super good at dealing with pressure. I've picked damage ninjas 4 times.
Ugh.
Now, I don't know if this is do 4 damage or deal damage 4 times.
Pass. I would say probably deal 4 damage, because mine is just kill 4 spearmen, and I will be killing 4 spearmen.
I just have to do 4 frontal kills. See, we're all very aggressive.
Well, I've got one that's not quite so aggressive. I've got lure a guard to an empty yard.
And then I've just got to make
Oh,
sure.
and then have your way with him.
I'm just
All officers are dead.
Yeah, so I've just got to make sure all.
But
officers-
when?
by the end of the game.
At the end of the game? Or
Can
at
you
any
spawn
point?
officers?
Yeah, I can spawn officers.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So I think it means the end of the game. I think by the time the game ends, all officers are dead.
Go with at any time.
I'm going
It's
to keep
more
an
likely
officer
to happen.
spawn just here and then just spawn an officer right at the end and be like, fuck you!
See, I just got to kill
Standard.
4 guys. And with Mugen, that's basically going to happen.
So now that we've done that, I think I deploy these men.
Yes, you do.
So I've got to put between 1 and 2 guys in each yard. Yards are these sandy areas here. This is a special yard. That's my barracks where new men spawn. And this is a special yard. That's where the kegs of gunpowder have to go in order for the ninjas to win.
2 kegs of gunpowder sitting on the wall. 2 kegs of gunpowder sitting on the wall.
And if one keg opens,
It'll blow us up.
It'll blow all of us up.
Thanks, guys.
we won't exist at all. And there'll be no bags of explosives.
Oh, God.
Anywhere
Oh,
at
God.
all.
I regret this already.
Be like, what have I done? What have I done? I've unleashed a monster.
I don't have enough men!
Yeah. Remember that as we go stabby stabby. Da 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 da.
Yeah. Gotta kill the men. Gotta kill the men. Although it's a bit mean.
While he's doing that,
But
say hello to Yuki, Mugen,
Iker. Sorry, dude.
and
I can never remember this dude's name.
go for it. I want to see you try.
No, because I'm going to come out with something semi-racist.
Hayato.
I was going to say Hawaki or something.
Not even close. Hayato.
Hayata.
Hayato.
Hayato. Hayato.
Yes.
Hayato. And then say hello
What?
to Yato. I'll remember it in my brain like that. Hayato. Hayato.
He's going to get it wrong all of this. So
Say hello to
I'm
Yato.
predicting now.
Hayato. Hayato. Hayato, Hayato, Hayato. They do say if you repeat something like 3 times in your mind and keep repeating it 3 times, you should remember it. Hayato, Hayato, Hayato.
What if you repeat the wrong thing?
Hayato. Well, you always remember it wrong. Which is often my issue.
So much.
Exactly. That's why I'm not trusted with games learning.
I do trust you with games learning, Michael, much to my...
So the reason why Mike's kind of struggling a little bit is these areas with the 2 arrows facing away from each other. Those are where we spawn.
Spawn. Sounds quite, like...
Demonic.
Yeah. Like, our frog spawny.
Okay, those 2 things could not be further apart. What kind of frogs do you see?
Do I have enough guys
What demons
here?
are these?
Am I supposed to have 10 spearmen and 2 officers?
You said there was 12 to start with. How many?
Yeah.
And that is 12.
Yeah, 10 and 2.
Yeah, because that's what was already unpacked. Didn't put anything away.
No, doesn't seem like enough. It seemed like it was easier to set up before.
Maybe because you were thinking about it less.
Yeah, there's 11 yards. That means I can only have 1 yard with 2 people in it.
Oh no! Sorry, too sarcastic. I'm going to pay for that.
You'll be able to spawn some.
Wait a minute, he's looking into our spawn point. The cheating git.
That's not cheating.
I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to him. Damn spearman.
You see, he's too intuitive. He's got slightly more about him than the other spearmen.
Well, I feel like the spawn points are the edges of the edges of the board, right? So it's like,
yeah.
But actually, I don't think it's necessarily a good play
We'll find
to
out.
start by staring into the spawn points.
I'm staring into the face of Ninja Sword to the face.
See, now, where have I got 2 people still? I've got 2 people in both of these.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is very difficult.
Quick, just put them on their patrols. They'll pay no attention to any noises in the bushes that they hear rustling. And, they'll just allow whatever it is we're blowing up to blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your fault for having gunpowder on the premises. Do you not know how dangerous that is?
Yeah.
I can only have 1...
Keeping it hidden as well.
Yeah, it's so hidden in the house. Actually, no, it's not even in the house. It's in the bushes.
It's in the bush. It's in the bush. Someone was careless.
Or maybe we put it there.
Ooh, that makes a point.
Okay, there we go. I've deployed the troops.
Okay.
It's time for the ninjas to arrive.
After you, sir?
So they can only put a maximum of 2 ninjas in each start point, which means they can either... Now, honestly, they'd be stupid to not deploy both of their guys in the same start point, because if Michael has one here and Ollie has one here, then they have to start chatting.
Yeah.
It doesn't...
And I'm going to be like...
It is funny, the rulebook encourages you to chat, but also makes it very clear that anything you say can and will be used against you. By
It's so funny. They're like, this is strongly encouraged.
No, it's
they're
not.
like, you're going to have to talk. It's important.
So I thought just going here.
Okay.
I
mean, that's not a bad decision.
Why?
Because it looks nice.
It's not a bad decision.
I have a feeling like that's actual honesty from Michael. Like, I like this one.
I just think I don't want to say too much without telling you what I'm thinking.
Okay, do you want?
But I'm interested.
Do you want me to deploy?
I know, but it's
I'm
bad
just showing
for
an
us.
interest, Michael.
Do you want me to deploy
God.
near to you or away from you?
I think we'd be stronger together.
Okay.
But
I think you'd be stronger without him.
I'm in 2 minds of the whole. Kind of, on the one hand, he's got the stealthier people than me, and on the other hand...
why do I keep coming to thee?
Hey, you're the one that dragged me here.
I did. I'm in charge of it. Scheduling.
You're in charge of scheduling, yeah.
What?
Shall I make your decision really easy?
Well, I'll ask you a question, Ollie. Would you have liked to spawn at the top?
The thing is...
That's a trap!
Spawning at the top is close to both the objective and the...
See, this is yes, exactly.
However...
I think that lulls you into a false sense of like, ooh.
No, I'm looking more at the lay of people there. So he's got an officer in both locations and one near the barracks that he can march out. So he cleverly realised putting an officer there means he can always order people to leave it, which is really annoying.
Cleverly, that doesn't sound like me.
I know. Golden head git. So that is something to take account of. However, we can. So if we're there and there, we can split up across the board.
Yeah.
If we are too far apart, he will try and pick us off because he knows.
That's it. So
that he can
I'm thinking
swarm us.
strength in numbers.
Yeah, so I'm happy to go towards the bottom for that reason.
Cool.
But bear in mind the barracks at some point will need to be dealt with.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm often happy to go towards the bottom for other reasons.
Ba-dum.
So now that you guys are deployed, I'm going to draw 4 cards off the top of my deck here, and then I think we're ready to start, aren't we?
Yeah, so the only other thing is noise. We have an allowable amount of noise that we can make every turn, and it gets refreshed and removed because they forget they heard a sound, I guess.
Yep, that's correct. There's very much a, what was that noise? I guess it was the wind.
To be fair, it's not as bad as in Thief, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to use a water arrow to turn that lantern off. What was that? The lantern's gone off, moron. You know, the thing that doesn't happen normally, and it's wet now.
Yeah. Why is this lantern wet? There's going to be a lot of that.
I love the game, but Jesus, that's just dumb.
But I think that's pretty much all stealth games. It's like if any of the AI had actual human deduction, it wouldn't really be a game, would it?
Oh yeah, I saw a really good one as to why all cameras in stealth games have to be that really like 1970s one that just moves like that. It's because if it was a fisheye one, you would never be able to turn the camera off because you'd be seen before you got there.
Yeah, have you seen that camera that they used in... what was it, Singapore? They took the panoramic view of the tower.
Yeah.
There's like a camera on the top of a skyscraper, took this panoramic view of the whole city. And you could zoom, like, it not only did it get like the whole city, it got a 360 degree view. It also was so high def you could zoom like miles across the street and see what someone was like holding. Wow. It was crazy high definition. It was like some kind of ridiculous the highest definition photograph.
70K.
Wow.
And you could just zoom in and zoom in and zoom in and zoom in without losing any quality.
Wow.
Basically, in any stealth
Big
game,
Brother watching you.
in any stealth game, you have to sort of handicap whoever's looking at you because otherwise it's just stupidly easy to see you.
Now, are you picking your movement cards here?
What? No, I mean I don't have movement cards.
Okay. I think so. Me and Ollie have to pick our action cards.
We do
tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to use this time.
I think we should do an action phase
Okay.
today, just because we've been gaffing a lot.
You'll be like, what? I watched all of this for nothing?
I didn't even get to see a turn. I just got to see deployment. Sorry, guys. I got your back. I know what you're about.
I mean, that happens anyway, so, you know.
One action phase, please. So the game is divided into 2 action phases, where each ninja will play an action card, and they'll program them into these rows, and then they'll be activated. Between setting the cards and activating the cards, I will have a chance to do a few very vague and superfluous actions that could potentially sabotage the whole thing, but may have absolutely no impact at all. And then I can actually also, if I go, this is pointless, I can actually also sacrifice doing anything now in order to secure actions for potential use later. Then once the actions are revealed and activated, it will move on to the second action phase where that will be repeated down here. And then all of those cards will be collected, and then there'll be a separate movement phase where everything works slightly differently. But we'll explain that when we get to it.
Cool.
So they've got now to program these sort of like in secret. Don't forget about your doodads.
Yeah, no, I hadn't.
The cards are very difficult to teleport. May I borrow an action card, or is that... If you want to give me the quest card, that'd be okay. I'm sure you haven't done a quest action. I was just going to show them the black symbols.
The which symbol?
That.
Oh, yeah, cool. Thanks,
down
Ollie.
yet.
So this is... I assume you haven't done a quest action here.
So
without...
This Mike will have done this in the rules and explanation video, but these become certain types of actions depending on what gameplay you're playing, and this one is all about collecting, activating the
in this
explosion.
particular game, this has set off gunpowder, and that's all it does. But in their hand of cards, they've got various cards that look a bit like this, but are in 3 different colors, which again you'll know from the rules and setup. But it's just this symbol is so hard to spot in anything but
high def.
Perfectly lit YouTube sets. So in this case, this card is used exclusively... In this mission, this card is used exclusively as a red card that blow up gunpowder barrels. But the characters have to be careful, because if they blow up all the gunpowder before they get to the objective, then they can't complete it. And these cards can take on sort of different functions depending on which mission you're doing.
Yeah.
Pessimist.
He's just not doing an action.
Oh, yes, sorry.
It's all right. He can just... See, I can, like, look at your hand with him because you haven't played any cards or anything.
What are you doing? Don't know where that voice came from.
What are you doing?
In my swamp.
Was that... Did you hear Shrek?
Yeah.
Okay, I was doing the Bridge Keeper, but that's fine.
What is your favorite color?
Right. So... Now that that's programmed, I can play 2 of these cards, and I always have to play half of my hand. And using these cards, I can do moving of these people, I can do various things, it depends what's in my hand. What I'm going to do at this time, I think, is I'm actually just going to play this one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to play. I realize that's off camera. I'm going to play this one, which I'm going to play it tapped. And what this means is I'm essentially creating a saved action for later, and I'll explain that more later on. And then what I'm going to do with this one is the exact same thing. I've drawn the same two cards.
God damn it.
So those are going to be in arrears. So actually, I'm not going to do anything, and now we're going to go straight to the programming.
So what that means is that later on he gets to do things in addition to his normal actions.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think setting some of these up early on is important because when I have all my guys spread out like this, there's not actually a lot you can do. The game really does have sort of like an ebb and flow to it, I think, where I can sort of, like, trying to save all my guys now and just like sort of throwing away cards in an effort to try and predict all of this nonsense, I think is actually a waste. It's better to sort of bank some good cards now and use them when I can really maximize their effect later on.
Because they don't go away until he uses them.
Exactly. They'll just sit there until I decide to use them, which could be turns later or next turn.
You sneaky warlord, you.
Not next action phase, though, because they only become active at the end of this whole round. So, are we ready?
Ready.
Aiko, what are you doing?
Okay, what is Aiko doing? So, action card. Aiko is stunning a guard. Where is she? So she's here.
Yeah.
Just off camera, but she's stunning the guard here in this this clearing.
Correct.
So that means that he is now basically a complete dumbass.
Derp.
And this blue card is like semi-stealth. So it's
Which is ironic because it's called stealth.
it's called a stealth card, and it's somewhat stealthy. Yeah. Not as stealthy as a hidden card, but stealthier than a direct card.
Stealthier than running out shouting your name.
And now we've got Mugen, and Mugen's like...
running out, shouting his name, but still being stealthy.
So Mugen runs out here, he chops this guy's head off. This guy transforms into a corpse.
That'd be one.
And then Mugen runs back into the bushes. And he could actually murder two people here, but he doesn't.
Only the one.
There's only the one.
Yeah.
So you've completed a mission objective there, Ollie, and I get to have a noise token, which I can trade in later if you make enough noise. Shh. All right, so what have we got here from Yuki? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, it's hide the body. So she's like, you messy shit. So if my guards find a body, they are somewhat alarmed. They're like, only somewhat alarmed. They're like, oh dear. And then they proceed to tell nobody what they've seen, ring no alarms. No, did you know that ancient feudal castles used to have a series of bells they would use as an alarm system?
I did know that, but I didn't know that they had it for this.
It doesn't exist in this. I haven't got it, even though it would be really useful.
That's an upgrade you can pay for.
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, so hang on, before you do that, she can also...
Trespass, that's right. So this symbol here of the ninja warrior with movement means that this is a way for the ninjas to move in the action phase. And the ninjas move only between these orange bush sections, as you know from my rules video. But so she's now moved out into the yard to clear up the corpse, and she can exit into any of the three bushes, including the one she started in.
I love that. I love that symbol for moving a body. It's like just some feet going into a bush.
Yeah. Feet disappearing into the long grass.
Yeah.
I'd like some alternative art of someone shoving it into a barrel, or maybe like putting it in a koi pond.
Yeah,
how deep is a koi pond?
It doesn't matter. You know, my guards are like,
I put 7 bodies in this koi pond. I think at this point it's not as much a
my
pond.
guards are like, oh, it looks like Hinata's taking a nap in the koi pond.
On top of 7 other people.
On top of 7 other people, yeah.
So I will be moving stealthily to there.
Alright, so Yuki leaves and heads to a different clump of bushes.
Yes.
Clump.
Alright, and now we're over to Hayato. And Hayato is going to do some moitering. So this is murder someone and hide their body and do a trespass. So this is a very good card.
Yeah, especially considering that guy's stunned.
And so he's going to come out here and be like, oh, you're stunned? Well, now you're also dead. Shunk.
By the way,
then I would put out this corpse, but he already hides it. So, somewhere completely undiscoverable.
Yes.
And where is he going to trespass to, Michael? Now, interestingly, it is against the rules for Michael to say here to Ollie, where should I go? And for Ollie to offer advice on where he should go. Michael has to make his own decisions. They cannot discuss this decision-making process.
Hence my stress.
You stress? Never.
Am I doing this optimally?
Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Is this good? Is this good?
I'm just wanting constant. What is it? Not approval. Constant.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. Feedback.
Like confirmation that I'm doing it right. Constant.
Constant affirmation.
Yeah. Athlete, good word. Yes, that's the word I wanted. Yes, you've done well. Well done.
No, Michael, now you're on your own, and it's in the rules.
Yes,
that you have to be on your own.
I think, therefore I am. I will go with you.
I think, therefore I am a ninja.
Now that he's done that, am I allowed to talk to him again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
Yay! I did good. My affirmation.
And now what we'll do is we'll do that again, and then there'll be a whole thing where the ninjas run around. But we'll do that tomorrow on Ready, Steady, Play. So thank you so much for joining us on this first part of this journey. I hope you're excited to see what happens next, as are we all.
Lots of spearmen are going to die.
Or, yeah, well, maybe, but they're just mooks. I mean, I can spot. They're a dime a dozen.
There's a reason you're the bad guy.
I wish I had samurais. They are much better. See you all tomorrow, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.